Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, Anusha.
Okay, so we shall start our session now. So I welcome you all to our very first. Good evening, everybody. I welcome you all to our Knowledge Tuesday session. For I kindly request the participants to mute yourself and unmute when you talk. And for today's session, we have a speaker, Jilma, with us. She's the head and founder of Cosmiosis. So over to you, Jilma.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, HDFC, for having me here. So, uh, so today I'll share a few points on how to raise grants in India. So, my experience has been in raising grants from BIRAC, basically. So, I'll be talking more about points on raising grants from BIRAC. Before I start, I'll give a small intro about Cosmosis and our product. So can you go to the next slide? Yeah. Cosmosis was basically started by me and my husband in 2017. So we developed a device called CanScan. It is a cancer screening breath analyzer. So we can detect cancer from X-ray, right? So yes. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah. Okay. So our journey basically started in 2017 with Byrax BIG funding. So we had incorporated our startup after we received Byrax BIG in principle. So we are one of those very few companies who have received BIG at the first attempt, and we got BIG at idea stage. So our proof of concept was developed as part of BIG project, and on also on in same in 2017 only we had raised Nidhi Prayas funding also, which is another grant. So in that we developed a prototype and we did a small validation study using this money. So soon after our Vairag BIG project was over, we were able to raise Vairag seed funding, and currently we have just raised CSR funding from Indus. So can we go to next slide? So, so what is so special about grant? So, grant is easy money. Easy money in the sense you don't have to pay it back, and also you don't have to, give away equity to get this money. But currently, BIRAC grants have some royalty involved with it. There is some 5% of, sales profit you have to pay back until the grant money is, paid back. So, can you go to next slide? Yeah. So raising grant is a tedious process. Why so? Because you have to do a lot of homework before you start writing a proposal. So good proposal is what actually raises grants for you. So it's always good to look at sample proposals before you start writing the grant. And in case of BIRAC, there is more emphasis given to scientific and technical details. So when you're writing grant for you're writing proposal for BIRAC funding, you have to give highlight. You have to highlight the technical details in your proposal. Uh, and also, BIRAC has different funding schemes. So you have to go through the RFP very clearly before you start writing the proposal. Can we go to the next slide? Yes, so grant actually gives more credibility to your idea. So, to receive a government grant, there is like a lot of thorough screening process that happens at multiple levels. So, only the idea which the expert with lot of experience believe will have an impact will get selected. So, this will actually give more confidence for an investor when they come at a later stage to invest in your idea. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, a grant proposal basically it has all these following, generally it has all these following points that has to be part of a grant proposal. So it has, the problem statement, so the problem which you are trying to solve using your idea, and solution is basically the idea which you are developing. So novelty, your idea should be new and it should have some novelty. The team is the group of people who will be executing the idea and who will be doing the project for which you are writing the proposal. And so the team will also contain advisors who will be guiding you through the project. And preliminary data is the data which you have to show supporting your idea. So preliminary data will basically show that your idea works. And marketability, so commercial potential to sell the product and make money. Milestones is the work that you will be committing to be completed in the period of the grant. So it will be the work that will be achieved using the money which you raise from the grant. So budget is the money that is required to do the project to achieve the committed milestone. Can we go to next slide? Yeah. So the main important part and the first and foremost, the title of the proposal should stand out. Okay, so the title should capture the attention of the person who's doing the initial screening so that they develop interest to read through the entire proposal. And the proposal abstract should mention the problem which you are trying to solve and your idea, how you're solving this problem using a unique way, which is your idea. Next slide. Yeah, so Steve Jobs has said that a lot of times people don't know what they want until you show it to them. Okay, so in case of your problem, many times these are not considered problems until you point it out. So you have to define your problem very well, and you have to define which section of the population is facing this particular problem, and how big the problem is. So you can show what is the percentage of people affected by this problem. So if say there is some disease, so 1 out of 10 people are affected by this disease, and you have to show that this problem is more if this problem is more relevant in rural areas, or is it going to particularly affect the low income groups. So all this gives a social angle to your problem, which will attract funding. Yeah, can we go to next slide? Okay. And you have to show that there is an unmet need to address this problem. So you have to explain why this problem is unmet till now. So is it because the solution is expensive, or some complicated technology is required to address this problem? So you have to highlight all that in your problem statement. It's always good to show data from recent surveys. So recent survey, you can go through newspaper articles or research papers. Also you can look into government website like data.government.in. You will get some idea on from how to start with. Okay, so yeah, can we go to next slide? Yes, so you have to explain how your idea will solve the problem. So next is main important thing is your idea. Okay, so your idea could be incremental, like so there is already there is an existing solution, but how your idea is going to improve that existing solution. Okay, it could also be very new. So good very new means it's like very novel, so there is a good chance that people might not understand this idea. So you have to support the feasibility of this idea by showing existing research from other groups. uh, yeah. So when you are pitching, or whenever you are writing a proposal, so it is very important that the language used is very simple. So even a school kid should understand what you are trying to explain. Okay, so in when you're explaining your idea, you should explain in detail how your technology works. You should explain your solution, what how your solution is going to address the problem for your customers. So what is going to be the end result of your idea? Is it going to be a service, or is it going to be a product? And how it is going to affect your customer? So is it going to save their time? Is it going to make their life easier? Is it going to save money for them? So all that has to be clearly mentioned in your idea uh, whenever you are writing the proposal. Yeah, can we go to next slide? Okay. Yeah, so novelty. So here you have to, describe uniqueness of your solution. So, truly novel ideas is going to solve a major problem in a very unique way. So it doesn't have to be, entirely new. It can be, adopted from other industry things that are, working very well in the industry, and you can adapt it into your industry. So that is also novel. Yeah, can we go to next slide? Yeah, so you have to explain the technology used. Whenever you are highlighting the novelty in your idea, you have to explain the technology, and you have to use terms which are easier to understand. Okay, if there are some new terms that you are using, you have to explain those terms. Okay, you have to pinpoint the novel element in your solution. Is it going to be the technology, or is it going to be the way the technology will be used? Next slide. Okay, so if you have any patent, it is always good to mention the patent. Or if you're not having any patent, you can always show what can be patented. So you can do a patentability analysis. Okay, you can either you can hire firms who can do it. It's not very costly. You can just share a draft of a patent which you have written. So they'll be able to do the patentability analysis. You can also do yourself. You can do the patentability analysis by entering the keywords of your patent in the WIPO search. Then you will get similar patents. Okay, so you can show what are the patents that is related to your claims, and you can find out how your idea is going to be different from it. Okay, from this prior art search, you have to mention what are the similar patents and how yours is going to be different from those patents. Your claims, how it is going to be different from the patent. Next slide. Okay, so now the important part is team. Okay, so your team, you should mention the credentials of your co-founders, like what is their background and how many years of experience they have. It is always good to show a team that has complementary skills. Okay, so in case of medical startups, it is always good to show that you have a advisor who's a clinician. So that will um, uh, it will validate your idea from a clinical perspective. So when your advisor is a clinician, you would have talked to the advisor, and then you would have found out that there is actually a need for this idea, and how that idea is going to make change. Okay, so always it is also good to have advisors who are senior scientists. So main thing that you have to take care of is that you have to sign NDA with your advisors and also with your employees. So you have to get consent letter from the advisors to become honorary advisors. So that is one a document you'll have to share with BIRAC whenever you are mentioning your advisors in your team. Can we go to next slide? Okay, so principal investigator is the main person in the team. So he or she has to be the one who's going to work on this idea full time. Okay, the project whatever is being proposed, the person has to work on that idea full time. So this person is responsible for presenting this project to the selection committee. Okay, whenever you are going for presentation, he or she is responsible for submitting the reports on time. So you have to submit project progress reports every time. Okay, and so the committee, if whenever they have need any details about your project progress and all, the committee will always be approaching the principal investigator. Okay, yeah, next slide. Okay, preliminary data. Now, this is one, most important part of your proposal. So it is very important to show the work, that you have carried out so far to validate the idea. Okay, so it's always, good to collaborate with academic institutes or hospitals to generate the initial data. Okay, so it's very costly to generate data if you start doing it yourself. So it's always better to collaborate and do it. So you can approach any of your advisors, or any academic advisors or clinical advisors to do a small study and generate data for validation of your idea. Yeah, and as I told you, you always have to sign an NDA with them, and also you have to clearly mention the ownership of the IP that will be generated. If the IP is generated, it is going to be shared among the advisor and your company, or is it going to be owned only by your company? So all that has to be mentioned before you start working on the idea with the advisor. Yeah, next. Yeah, so
So you have to, as I told you, you have to be, very simple whenever you are presenting your idea. So it should be in the form that any person can understand. Okay, so it can be in the form of a scatter plot or line graphs or anything like that, and always show data in the form of. It should be a consolidated data in the form of tables and all that. Don't show, complicated results, which is very difficult for other person to understand. So most of the time, the committee members might not be, experts in your field, so for them to understand, it is always better to, show tables, show the accuracy of the result and all those things. If you go into, too much technical details, it is going to backfire because the committee might not understand, and because of that, being a very good idea, you might not get the grant. Okay. Yeah, so it's always good to show, accuracy in comparison with the existing techniques. If there is any existing techniques which is similar to your idea, you can always show the accuracy in comparison with that. Yeah, next slide. Okay. Now, the main part is that it is very important that your idea can be transformed into a useful product. Okay. So your idea, as I told you, it will be either a service. It is going to be either a service, or it is going to be a product. So you have to mention the cost structure of the product or service which you are providing, and you also have to, show how you are going to make revenue with this product. It is going if it's a service by subscription, or if it's a product by selling the product, how you're going to make revenue, and you have to highlight what is going to be the unique selling point of your product or service. Next slide. Yeah. So you have to do a preliminary market research. Okay. So you can search in the internet to get an idea of, how many customers will be there. From this, you will get the idea of what is going to be the total addressable market and serviceable market. So from this, you will be able to understand how much you are going to earn from each customer. Okay. So also from this, you will be able to understand what is going to be the customer acquisition cost through digital marketing discounts, and also if you do all this, what is going to be the cost of acquiring one customer. So if you do all this, then you will be able to work on your unit economics. So unit economics will show when your product is going to be profitable. So how much profit you will be making for one item which is sold. So if your unit economics is in negative, then you will have to show, like, what is going to be the sales volume that is required to make the unit economics positive. So you will have to show that in your uh, if economical projection slide is there, you will have to show all this in that slide. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so you should always clearly mention what is your market size, and in what percentage the market is growing. And you have to mention who your customers is, okay, who are going to buy your product, so that you will start making money. Okay, so most of the time, the customer will be different from your end users. Okay, in medical startups, mostly the customers will be the customers will be doctors, and end user mostly might be normal people. So our the customer whose doctor will be prescribing your idea, your solution to their patients, and they'll be buying it. So end user will be different from the customer. Okay, so business model, you have to clearly mention what is going to be the business model. So it can be either service, sales, or subscription model. Okay, and you also have to mention what is your go to market strategy. Next slide. Yeah. So if there is any social impact, you have to highlight that. Okay. So mostly medical technologies have very high social impact. You can describe how your technology, your idea is going to help the low income groups. You can show how your solution can be adapted in rural areas. How you can also have different business models for rural areas and urban areas. Yeah. So you have to, go through all this, and then make your marketability slide. Yeah. Next. Okay, so also you have to do a good research on your competitors and show how your idea is better than others. Okay, so if there is an existing competitor, it always gives a validity for your idea. So that means your idea is already having a market. Okay, and you have to highlight how you are different from your competitors in terms of affordability, accuracy, and all. So a simple table, mentioning different competitors and pointers, showing how it is, better than your competitors will work. Yeah, next. Okay, so yeah, this is work plan and objective. So there is a section where you have to show how you are going to utilize the fund which you have received. So for that, you have to show what are the milestones you will be you will be achieving with the money that you have got, and yeah, so you have to show what work you are planning to do with the grant money you have received. You have to explain the methodology and or experimental design to accomplish this objective. You should also mention the deliverables at the end of each objective, which will be the milestone. Okay, so mention the timeline to achieve each of this milestone. You should have a budget breakup for achieving all each of the milestone. Yeah. Next slide. Okay, so you have to also mention what is your technology readiness level. Okay, so BIG basically is for TRL 3 and above is what I have understood. So TRL 1 and 2 can be part of your preliminary work. Whatever preliminary work which you show, that can be TRL 1 and 2. Okay, so you should achieve milestones such that you reach at least TRL 4 or 5, so that you'll be able to raise grant other follow-on funding. Yeah, next. Okay, you should also, mention alternative strategy to carry out the work. Let's say you have, mentioned the experimental design to achieve your milestone. So what if that experiment doesn't work? So you also have to have an alternative strategy so that you'll be able to attain the milestone in that given time. So you also have to mention that alternative strategy, and you also have to have the alternative plan. Okay, so that also has to be mentioned as part of your objectives uh, slide. Yeah, next. Okay, so also you have to mention what are the regulatory clearances which are required. So you have to show what approvals are needed to conduct the work. So CTR, if you have to do a clinical trial, you need CTRA approval, DCJ approval, and all that. So if you have, if you need such approvals to start your work using BEIG or any other grant funding, it is better that you start working on getting these approvals way in advance. Any approval will take at least 6 months to actually to get that in writing or in paper. So if you get approvals, if you start working on getting approvals after you receive the grant, you are unnecessarily going to lose a lot of time and you won't be able to attain your milestones at the specified time. Next. Yes, so milestones are practically the achievable, work that you are committing to complete in that particular duration with the money that you have received. Okay, so you have to commit practically achievable milestones. Okay, there is always going to be unanticipated delays, like you might not get the material on time. There will be some equipment breakdown. Some employee might quit. So all this will slow down your project, and your final milestone should be such that you have enough data to raise a follow-on funding. Yeah, next slide. Okay, so budget. So when you are planning your budget, you have to think of all these heads. You have to allocate heads. You have to allocate budget for all these equipments, HR, and all that. So also you have to give justification for each item that you have to buy with the grant money. Next slide. Yeah. So this should be thought through really well. You have to include that 18% GST, 30% import duty wherever applicable. And you also have to account for the salary raise and rent hikes, equipment service fee, etc. And you also have to put a little extra under each head. Also, 10% of the total grant is going to be reimbursement after the final milestone is met. So that money you will have to have in your pocket, so that you'll have to spend it and then you will have to claim it. Yeah, next slide. Okay, so it's always get to always good to get quotations way in advance from the vendors, and also you can start the recruitment process early on to find out what could be the cost of HR. You can have at least one person with very good experience in the team. So hiring freshers is good for a work that is in repetitive in nature. It normally takes at least 3 months to train a fresher, and it's quite possible that they might leave soon after the training is over. So it's very good to have a committed person with good experience in your team who will be able to take your work forward. And whatever so whatever is not your expertise area, it is always good to outsource that work. Yeah. So say if you are licensing the patent, so if you should include that patent licensing fee also as part of your budget. You can talk to the patent holder to find out what could be the cost of licensing, and have signed legal documents before you start project with licensed technology. So you have to do all this well in advance, because once you start you receive the grant and start working on it, then there should not be any it should not happen that the person might not give you the patent, so that will stop your work. So it's better to have all the legal documents and all signed well in advance before you apply for grant itself. Yeah, next slide. So once your proposal is selected, you will be asked to do a presentation. Okay, so presentation basically it will be in this format. So you have your problem statement, your solution, and you have to show the value proposition, so how your idea will be bringing value to the customer. You have to show the working principle. So when you're showing the working principle, it's always good to show photo of your product if available, or you can show rendered image of any other product which closely represents your product. And preliminary data you can show in the form of graphs or tables, which is like easier for everyone to understand. And you should show the cost structure of the product, what is going to be the cost price, selling price, how much margin you are going to make with each sale. So all that has to be mentioned very clearly. And competitive analysis, it's better to have a comparison table. As I told you, you can compare different solutions and show how your idea is better in terms of accuracy or price point and all that. And you have to have a business model. So business model will show who are going to be your customers, how you're going to sell your idea to those customers. So all that will be part of the business model. Yeah, next. So it's better that always one person 1% presents the entire presentation. Usually it is the PI who's asked to present the presentation. Yeah, next slide. So this is not pertaining to BIRAC, but basically it is always good to have just 10 slides and 20 minutes of presentation, and use with, really large fonts so that people can read and understand. It's always good to put actual data wherever possible, and any research paper you're referring to, it's always good to put the reference at the bottom of the slide, so that any question comes to you, you can just cite that paper and explain it. Yeah, next slide. So you always have to refer to the template presentation that is shared to you before your actual presentation. So sometimes it could be more of a technical presentation, and sometimes it could be a business oriented presentation. So you have to know how you have to pitch uh, depending on the template which is shared with you. You'll be able to understand in what terms you'll have to pitch, and you will get to know about it from the template that was shared. Yeah, next. Okay, so basically in BIRAC, it's mostly 7-minute presentation and 10 minutes Q&A. So stick to this timeline. You might not get any extra time to present, but Q&A might extend beyond 10 minutes. So, you have to rehearse really well before presenting, and you can anticipate what questions might come to you based on the slides which you have prepared. So with this you will be able to prepare in advance for those questions. So basically BIRAC panel has a lot of scientists, so you can expect a lot of technical questions. And make sure that you have all these technical details as backup slides, so whenever a question is pointed to you, you can show this slide and explain your whatever technical details they are asking. Next slide. So always expect delays in time slot. So it's better to keep entire day free for the presentation. And if you have a prototype, it's better you can carry it with you, or if you're doing an online presentation, you can just have it with you. If at all you get time, you can just show it to them. You might not get time to demonstrate the product, but it's always good to show something uh, that you have worked on, and you can show that this is what you have worked on, so that actually gives a lot of credibility to your presentation. Yeah, next. So after the presentation, your project will be selected for funding, but before releasing any fund, due diligence is done. So basically they do site visits, so they'll visit your lab, and they'll see what all facilities are available. So most of the time, if your lab doesn't have some facility, if you're incubated in some technical incubators, you can show that the facility is available with the technical incubators, and you'll be using their equipments and all to carry out your work. So that way, you have to show it like that. And your team should be present to answer any questions. So like there'll be questions on your on accounts or any technical work that you have done. So it's better to have the team member who's very proficient in that work to answer these questions. And the work related documentation should be available with you to show it to them. Accounts should be up to date. You should have all the signed contracts with whatever all the collaborators, and you should have NDAs with all the employees, and you should have all your incorporation related documents available to show it to them whenever they ask. Yeah, next slide. Okay, so once due diligence is completed, then you will be selected for, your proposal will be selected for grant. So you will be given, initially, you will be given some amount to attain your first milestone. So after you attain the first milestone, you will be given the next tranches. So with every milestone, you have to give a milestone report and utilization certificate and statement of expenditure. So based on this, your next tranche will be released. You have to have a project report. So after completion of project, there will be a project report. So you have to write it very nicely, and it has to be uploaded into the BIRAC website. So for future funding, they'll be referring this project document to actually consider you for the next follow-on funding. And yeah, so review meetings will be conducted. Basically, BIRAC does at least one review meeting to monitor the progress of your work, and also to see how you can generate follow-on funding. So review meetings earlier was held in Delhi, but I think nowadays it's done online. So there you'll have to show whatever work you have done and whatever milestone you have achieved. So all that should be shown as part of the review meetings. Next slide. Yeah, so it's always, good to apply for grants from abroad. If you have any collaborators outside India, you can explore the option of raising grants from there. There, the funding amount is very high compared to Indian grants, and there are like different types of funding available for different stages. And it is also possible to get funding for, idea. So it's like really good if you can apply for grants outside India as well. So yeah, so I have come to the end of my presentation. So I would like to thank you, HDIC team, for giving me this opportunity to share my experience in raising grants. So I am open to any questions if you have any. Yeah. Uh,
Emma?
yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we have few questions on the chat box.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to have questions, you can raise hand or you can post your question on the chat box. We'll facilitate one by one. So the question from Remco's Technologies, Jnana Krishnan, do you want to unmute yourself and go ahead with your question?
Yeah, good evening. Am
Hi,
I
good.
audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, I have few questions. Actually, your presentation is one of the best and very detailed presentation.
Oh, thank you
Uh,
so much.
yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations on that. Second thing is, are there any grants available for SAMD? That means software as a medical device.
Okay.
Especially when I'm developing a new medical device, there will be
Yeah.
hardware and software. It will be a composite kind of a thing. So
Okay.
can I get grants for that?
Yes, so I think Birax BIG. So when you're saying software as a medical device, uh, I know of companies who have developed visualization, no, not visualization, image processing softwares and got funding. So uh, so I think it's you can apply for Birax BIG funding also. And you can also look at the Startup India site. So there are a lot of uh, grants, whatever grants the government is providing, you will be able to understand from Startup India portal as well. There are like lot of grants which is being posted in Startup India portal also. But I think you can apply for BIG. So that is around 50 lakhs. So I am aware of Birax funding mostly. And also Nidhi Prayas is also there. So Prayas, you have to develop a prototype of whatever software you are claiming. So that is for 10 lakhs.
So Nidhi Prayas is that is for if I have a medical device, I must have a prototype.
No, so at the end of the project, you should have a prototype.
Okay, that is from conception to the prototype is available.
Yeah. So this is Nidhi Prize is a early funding. So from concept to prototype, it is Nidhi Prize will work for that. Yeah.
Yeah, my second question was, what are the research grants available for the new medical device for a startup company? So I think you have mentioned like Birac and Nidhi Prayas and Startup India. And are there any more, some more places where I can apply for grant?
Yeah. So Birac, definitely they have like lot of grants. One is BIG, which is like early funding. Then they have SIBRI, BIPP. It's all like it is above 50 lakh. If you want, you can go for SBRI and BIPP funding, but you will have to have a matching funding. Like if you need more than 50 lakhs, you have to put maybe 70 lakhs from your side. Then Birac will put 70 lakhs. BIPP is like above above 1 crore. If you want, I think BIPP, again, it is matching funding. So if you put maybe 2 crores, Birac will also put 2 crores. So that is Birac. Then you have Nidhi, you have seed funding from Nidhi. So that is also, I think, around 1 crore. Then other than that, you have, grant challenges. Grand Challenge India, GCI India, GCI is there, Grand Challenges India. So that is also, I think, 50 lakhs. Then I think different state governments have their grant also. Karnataka government, I am aware of, they have their 50 lakhs grant funding. So there are like lot of options. So you have to keep searching and looking at the Startup India portal mostly shows all these grants. So I do look at the Startup India portal and as well as Birac portal. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yilma.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the.
Sir, I am not able to hear you. Could you just, talk bit louder?
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other participants can go ahead with your questions.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Parag.
Hello,
I'm Parag
my
Moy.
name is Ranjan.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Parag. Hi, Ranjan.
Yeah, yeah, I think Ranjan can go ahead.
I
I
think
can.
I'll have Parag ask his question and then I'll go up. Okay,
पहले
fine.
आप
I'll
पहले.
ask the question then.
Yeah.
Hi, Zilma. Ranjan here from a company called Printalytics Private Limited, based out of Bangalore.
Okay.
A couple of questions that I had is, thank you very much for taking us through the, process of raising grants. I also wanted to understand, do grants come with flexibilities around prototypes, or, they are generally typically governed by milestones and timelines? Uh, so that is one thing, and what would be the process after the at several stages of the grants? How would that typically be?
Um, so you're asking how, without milestone, how you'll be. So milestone is part of the proposal which you write. So with the money
Correct,
that
correct.
you
No,
get,
I'm not telling grants without milestones. All that
huh,
I'm telling is, flexibility in terms of the prototypes and the milestones.
yes, 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 that
Is
is
there
obviously.
something as
So
such?
yeah, so every grant, if you're not able to achieve milestone in particular time, you can always write to the committee and you have to show that why you are not able to achieve that milestone or whatever you have committed. So based on that, they might give you some extension, time extension, or
Uh-huh.
a little money they'll release so that you achieve that milestone.
Okay, okay. And
Did
if
I
there
answer your
are
question? Because I was not very clear, what you had asked. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just wanted to understand, that's what, if there are delays in the prototype and
Yes,
stuff like
yes,
that,
yes. Because something like this lockdown and all, you cannot always anticipate what is going to happen. So that way, BIRAC and all other
right, right.
committees have been like very you know they consider all that. So you just have to show that why you are not able to meet
Okay.
time, and then they'll consider you.
Yeah, and such a kind of scenarios, like a pandemic actually shifts the, it could actually shifts the focus of the business, in the sense that,
Yeah.
the businesses could pivot towards something else altogether. It might be a new door of opportunity that could be opened and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So, is that also applicable in case of a grant, because that will be treated as a deviation to the
No, yes,
existing
yeah, yes,
condition?
yes, yes. That won't be. I don't think they'll be encouraging that because your proposal is different and you have gotten money for that proposal. So it's very difficult to
Mm-hmm.
use that money for something, some other developing some other product. So that is actually, uh, it won't be good for your reputation also because BIRAC has all this. Uh, People
Right.
who have got grant and not completed it. So all that, it's not very good. It leaves a black mark on your company. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you.
But
Thanks.
if it is like private funding, anyway, you can talk with the investors. So investors basically want money, So however way you
Right.
do it, that will be okay for them. But when it comes to government grants and all, government wants to, support that particular idea which you are working on. So it's very important that, you
Right.
work on that idea and make it successful. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. I get the point. All right. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Parag.
Hi, Jilma. Yeah. Great presentation. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
My question basically is, in a startup, when you apply for a grants, they ask you so many questions, which is valid.
Yeah.
But then I feel that my question is more of how we do market research if we are a startup and we want to, not for ourselves and also for submitting the data to BIG.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there anything particular you
Yeah, what I
did?
have done. Yeah, so I have basically done a, very uh, what you can tell, very initial kind of data is what I present. So basically, I look at, there will be to see what is the trend, of that particular market. You can look into markets and markets.com and all that. So some numbers you'll get from that, but to actually get that, market research report, you have to pay them. So I have never done that. What I have done is like, so if you know who your customers are, then you will be able to, get a number of those customers. Okay.
Yeah,
So
got it.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
basically, this is where I'm coming to. I mean, the startups have limited fund, and even
Yeah.
before getting the grant,
Mhm.
investing in giving it to some market research agency
Mhm.
is not affordable. So,
Mhm.
so what we have is the secondary data, what we
Yes,
call.
yes, yeah. Secondary data is what we can present. So I think it should be okay, because so far, whatever I have, whatever market survey which I have shown, so all those numbers should match. If I tell there are like 1 lakh cancer patients, and if somebody looks at it and they find that there are more than 10 lakh or 20 lakh, so it shouldn't be like that. Whenever you're presenting, it should be somewhat closer to whatever you're claiming. It should be closer to the actual number. And
Okay.
so if you have a medical device product, what I have done is that, so I know who my customers are, like hospitals, diagnostic centers, laboratories, and all. So I get the number of these, customers from net. So almost, some number I'll get, and I can, so that way I
Yeah.
can find out what is going to be, my
Mhm.
market. Yeah.
Yeah, but many times, let me little deep down,
Yeah.
if it helps all of us,
Yeah.
is many times these datas are available, like number of cancer
Yeah.
institutions in
Yes. Yes.
India.
Yes.
Tata Cancer has is there, and you can like name it.
Yeah.
The whole point is how many people will buy your product, and then addressable market versus
Yeah.
potential market. Because Bharak asked so many questions and they deep
Yes. Yes.
dive, I thought you might have done something.
Yeah,
Uh,
so thing is that whenever we tell market, it's we always look at the total addressable market. So after you have done enough, once you are into marketing and all those stuff, when you talk to customers, that is when you actually find out what is going to be your actual serviceable market. We can never tell. So maybe say you are not considering government, you might think that government might not buy your device, but it might happen that government is interested, and they'll also buy your device. So that way you can never tell whether it's one person only is my customer. There is no
mhm,
possibility that other person might not buy it. So let's say if you have made a device where hospitals buy. Now let's say there is a doctor who has like lot of money and he has a big clinic, so he'll also buy the device.
mhm,
So already you have done market survey where your customers are only hospitals. Now you have another customer like clinics, big clinics. So
mhm.
it's always good to show the total addressable market. uh,
Okay.
that will give a fairly a fair idea of how you can make money. Yeah.
So my understanding from your talk is addressable market should be accurate in drafting or writing a project.
Yeah. Yes.
So you get a grant without even, I mean, you can discuss at that time the potential market which you
Yes.
can,
Yes.
probably tap.
Yes,
Is that
yes,
correct?
yeah, yes, yes. That is what you have to show. This is the market. This is the available market, and I
Right.
am planning to, access this available market. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So one more follow-up question, if the administrator allows me.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. So one more question is, you just mentioned the last slide that there are many foreign grants.
Yes. Yes.
And you mentioned about the collaboration
Yeah.
with the foreigner.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
so any popular grant where we
Yes,
can collaborate?
yes. So there is US India Endowment Fund.
Okay.
So that is coming to around 2 crores.
Okay.
So 1 crore your US collaborator will get, and 1 crore your Indian. So that depends on what understanding you have between the collaborator. So
Right.
maybe 25 lakhs they'll take, and 75 1 lakh 1 crore 75 you can take. So that is it's a good funding. I think there is like Indo Sweden and Indo Swiss grants
Yeah.
also, I think. So that and all, you'll have to keep on checking. So it's good to have a good collaboration with people from outside. Yeah. So then you
Perfect.
can apply for
Perfect. Thank you
grant.
so much for your.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Parag.
Thank you.
Um, Jilma, I have a
Yes,
question
yes.
from my
Mm.
side. What are the difficulties you faced while raising those grants?
Okay, so one main difficulty which I face like every time is whenever you're presenting, and so after your presentation, when there is a question and answer session, questions keep on coming and you don't get time to answer them all. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's one thing which I always face. So for that, what I do is that at least I make sure that at least one question is answered. So I you will have to be a little rude and interrupt the other person and answer the first question and then go to the second question. Otherwise, it will be like there are just questions and you haven't answered any of those questions. So people will think that you don't know anything. So that is one place you have to be actually rude and um, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and other than
Thank you
that,
so much, Jilma.
also another thing, which I have mentioned in my PPT, I have highlighted it a lot. When you're writing a proposal, you should use, very, very simple terms, because most of
Oh,
the time it has happened that I haven't received grant because people haven't understood what I was trying to tell. So once
okay.
I have, resorted to simple language and explaining the jargons, that's when I started getting grants.
Okay. Thank you, Jilma. We have one more participant. Muthu Krishnan has posted his question. Muthu Krishnan, do you want to go unmute and ask the question?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
we are
Hi.
a team. Hi. We are a team comprising of freshers. We are
Oh,
yet to complete our course.
okay.
So, on what side we need to emphasize, whether it is novelty or productivity of the startup to
Okay.
make a pitch deck.
BIRAC, there is like lot of weightage for the novelty element, because they want to support ideas which are not, supported by any other funding. So novelty aspect you definitely have to highlight, and for highlighting that novelty, you also have to show some preliminary data. How why you're claiming that this idea is going to work. So that preliminary data should also be there. And pitch deck, so normally they have a template. So in that template, I think there are two slides where the focus is entirely on the technology. So there you'll have to show the preliminary work which you have done. Yes. uh, did I answer your question, or
Yes, novelty has the main emphasis.
yeah, novelty has the main emphasis, and you also have to think through how you are going to sell the idea. So if you're going to make the product, then you also have to show, if there is some image available, you can just show this is how it is going to look like, and all that. So some that will give them a clear understanding of how you're going to use this idea to make a product. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other participants? Can go ahead with your questions if you want.
So, Jilma, I have a question. So, what are the key points to maintain grant accounts? So, if you share your insights, maybe the upcoming startups can maintain.
Accounts, in the sense, so you have to show a utilization certificate, which will show how you have used the funds to achieve the milestone. So yeah, as I told you, there are like different heads like equipments, HR. uh, so you would have committed that in milestone one you will use this much percentage of whatever fund was given to you. So all that has to be shown in the table, and then you have to get the utilization certificate signed by a accountant, chartered accountant. So uh, yeah, Yeah, so to maintain the accounts, it is always good to have a Excel sheet, and whenever you are spending something, you can just make a note of it and scan whatever invoice you have to scan that and keep it ready. So it will be easier for you when you are making the utilization certificate. So it's better to do the utilization certificate and all a little bit in advance before you end you finish off the milestone, because after you submit the utilization certificate and milestone report and all that, it takes a little time to get the next tranche. So it's always better to do it in advance. So you should not run out of money because your utilization certificate was delayed.
Thank you, Jilma.
Thanks, Mitra.